This is a brown split cake. This next practice piece I'm going to show you is trickier and it's going to be a real workout for your hand. I'm going to use an angled brush. This is my angled 3/4 brush. And we're going to load up our brush and we're going to get started. And I'll show you how tricky these are. They're a form of petal, but they're a pointed petal. And they are tricky. But once you get the muscle memory down for these are so pretty in a design. You can make those beautiful, incredible floral designs even better than with a flat, plain old flash brush. That's why it's important to make sure you have some angled brushes in your paint kit. All right, we're going to go down to our workstation. Okay, this split cake starts from white to brown to chocolate to black. Sometimes you want a nice crisp edge. Sometimes you want to add just a little bit of black or a very dark color at the outer edge just to make your designs stand out even more. Now loading up, I'm pressing down so the bristles are flexing down so more of the brush goes across the paint. When I get to the end, I lift up, then I lay it down and I pull. This is what I'm doing when I'm loading my brush. It's angled, so the left side will lay down first before the rest of the bristles. Now there's two ways to do this pointed petal, top down or down up. I'm going to do the top down. You make contact with your paint, you drag it down just a little bit so you're creating a tip, and then you lay the brush down on its side, and then you continue curving around like a half circle, and then you lift up. So this is where your half circle practice can come in handy, but we're dragging it down first, rotating it up, and then going down. I am looking for that lined paper. This is great to make sure you have a line paper to follow on. When you get really good at this, this will look like one smooth line. I still pull off to the side, but this is the technique you want to master to make incredible, incredible designs. So once you get one side mastered, the more you do it, the better you get. You'll learn. You see, each time I'm practicing, I'm actually getting better at returning back to that center line without this part flicking over. The larger your brush, the more distance you need to return back to that starting position. You could do it the easy way. You could go down, go out, and then go back down, but pull that dark part back to the center. This is another technique that gets a different effect. So this second way is you go down, keeping the left side of your brush on that left line, go out, and then keep your brush on left side of the brush on the line, and then pull it in, and then continue in a point. Pointed at the top, pointed at the bottom. Now remember, what you practice on one side, you need to practice on the other. Practice going down and going left, and then pulling in. You can make a very broad leaf like that. Practice a few more, left, and then in. That one is really good. Once you've practiced some on the left side, and then some going down the right side, combine it. We've done one to the left. Now I'm going to go down and do one on the right. And that starts making a really great leaf. You could even do a shallow on the top and pointed on the left. When you're putting the strokes together, that over curve actually starts looking more like for a natural leaf. Also, you can go halfway. Another thing you can do is a lily. Go the other way. Now you curve up, use that letter C curve, and you start getting that curve of a lily. So I could see I could have come down just a little further like that, and then I could have gone down, curved up. But you can see where you can go with these. You can practice leaves, you can do flower petals. I'm going to put my brush here, and I'm going to go out on one way, and then I'm going to go in to other way. These could be the beautiful leaves of a poinsettia. You can always scribble and fill in, but you can see how essential this brushstroke is, making sure you can do pointed petals. And doing it with a pointed brush can give you much crisper lines on the corners. So I'm going to start at the bottom and curve up, go down, curve down, and in. I'm going to fix this. I missed a spot. I'm going to let that dry. Wet my brush, pick up a little more paint. I'm going to complete this one here, fill it in just that little bit to give this bottom chance chance to dry. And you can just finish filling in. See, some of them I'm just guiding the brush. I'm not doing that brush flip, but doing that practice down and rotating the brush. It takes some doing, and you will really feel it in your thumb. You might want to take a break, stretch your hand, wiggle, stretch your hand out, and before taking up the brush and practicing again. This is a very intense finger hand practice piece. It's going to definitely test your stamina and control. I'm going to pick up some more of this. This bottom petal is almost dry. I'm going to do a small letter C petal. Now I'm going to come back to here, and I'm going to do a letter C that curves around and connects. Now think, if I did this in white and yellows and orange, how stunning that would be. Your hand might be stressing out. I'm going to show you what I did to help make these petals even better. I took a practice board and I divided it. First, I divided it in half long ways, and then I found the center and drew the lines diagonal, and then I found the center of that diagonal, and then I found the center of that diagonal. So I made a series of diagonals, and this is what I use to practice doing my pointed petals from all directions. There's more directions than left, right, up, and down. There's left, left a little to the right, down a little to the left, and so on. So you can practice here long, go out, pull in, go long. and then long, pull out, go down, pull long. And then I can close off the other side, or I could go from a different angle. I'm going to go angling up now. Sharp, out, in, lost it, and out. Practice doing it from different angles. Practice doing more than one in a row. I really like getting these cutting mats from the dollar store. They make painting practice boards affordable. There's only so much skin that you have, and you'll get tired of painting. Now this petal did not line up perfectly with the first petal I did, but look at the effect. It's kind of like the letter S shape, but a little different. Isn't Bob Ross the one who said painting accidents are just a new design to be discovered? Happy accidents, a way of discovery. You could paint out to the center, or you can paint into the center. As you see, the more I'm doing it, the more I'm improving myself. But you can see my hand's getting tired. I over flicked it, but I ended up with this V shape. Doesn't that look like a beautiful little bird? This is face paint practice. It's supposed to be fun. So it's okay that if you're practicing a technique and it inspires you to do a design, go ahead and try out that design idea. And then after having fun, go back to practicing the basics. Point it, pull it out from different angles. You can have your guidelines painted on the board. You could draw these lines on a piece of paper. And that way the board is always clear and ready for any design. And you can just go off of what's under the board. Painting in from a different direction. You could even use the wiggle technique with this. I forget if I've practiced that, but the idea popped into my head, so let's pursue it. Okay, so I'm going to start my angle. I'm going to wiggle it as I go up. Look, isn't that a pretty leaf? Have a lot of fun with your paint practice. It doesn't have to be odious or tedious or whatever you want to call boring. Boring. I like to have fun. I love having an adventure. See where your paint takes you. You might invent your own stroke. If so, share it with me, take a picture, attach it, and show me what you have discovered on your happy journey of learning to face paint. Happy painting!